Hello, this is a short video to show you some of the facilities that the NetBeans IDE has that we're going to be using in 2015 this year. Apologies that this is on a Mac, it's just easier to record the screen on a Mac than it is on a PC. So there might be slight differences between what you see and what I see, but not major. Okay, first of all, when you open up the NetBeans IDE, you'll see that you get this startup screen. You can just untick that so that you don't see that again. But if you did want to have a look at some things, there's some tutorials there that you might want to have a look at, or there's some demos and little videos, and you can see what's new and sort of recent projects and things like that. Okay, so we can just get rid of that. Now, as far as NetBeans goes, everything that we're going to be doing is going to be in projects. So first thing to do is to create a new project. And if you click on that little icon at the top, or use File, New Project, the project is Java application. Click Next, and then make sure that you've got a sensible project location. So mine is stored in a particular file, and it's quite a long path name to it, but I know where it is. Make sure that you choose something by browsing and getting to it. The project name here, it's Java application 5, just increments that every time. I'm going to call this my test project. You'll notice that this box down here, my test project, appears in there. And we've got create main class ticked because we want a class which contains a main method, so we can run things. Press finish, and then NetBeans goes away, creates the folder structure and all the files that are necessary, and then within a few seconds, perhaps longer than that, it's going to come back with, there we go, the screen changes slightly, and we get the editor window which shows the source code, and also over here we've got a little explorer window, and if you open up the project and open up the source packages and then open up that package, you'll see that the Java file which is open in the editor is actually this one here, mytestproject.java. It's within a package, which we'll talk about later, and within a project, and that's all stored in a folder structure somewhere, which you don't really need to worry about at the moment. Okay, first things first, I want to create a new class, so I'm going to right click on the package and create new class, and this class is going to be a car, capital letter, uppercase letter for the class, and then just press finish, and we'll see that car gets added to the package, but also we get a little bit of code which has already been introduced for us, public class car, and some comments and things like that, and an author name. Now all that we really need to do is add some fields to this. So I'm going to start typing in private. Oh, we've got a little exclamation mark, so there's an error somewhere, but that's because I haven't finished typing the line. Private string model. And if you type private string model, you get an exclamation mark, and if you just hold your mouse over it, it says it expects a semicolon. So put the semicolon in, and then that line's okay. So it will check things as you're typing them in. And then private int age, again, needs a semicolon. Once the semicolon's there, everything's fine. And private double, oops, spelling mistake, engine size, there we go. Right, so we've got 3 fields, they're all private, and now the next thing, normally what we do is we create a constructor. So let's go, instead of typing it all, I'm going to go to source and insert code and constructor, and if I do that, I want a constructor which has all 3 fields being assigned. So I'm just going to click generate, and it generates the code. Notice that the parameter names are exactly the same name as the field names above, but the parameter names are identified in black, although that doesn't have any effect on things, it's just to help you see what's happening. and the field names are in green, and we know that these are the field names as well because we use the word this, the receiver this. So this dot model identifies the field, and if you click on any of these things like model, NetBeans will show you whereabouts in the class you can see that variable. Right, so we want to also put a setter and a getter for age. So I'm going to go again to source, insert code, and I'm going to choose getter and setter, and I'm going to click on age and press generate, and it generates a getter and setter. No more boring writing out of getters and setters. And I also want, if I go to insert code, I want a getter for the other two attributes. Notice that age isn't there anymore, so I'll just click on car and it chooses them both. Notice that they've both got little locks next to them because they're private attributes. Generate, so I've got my, if you have a look, I've got 3 getters and a setter, and I'm also going to insert a code for a string, a toString, and it's for all 3 of the fields. There you go, and it generates something. It's not the neatest of thing, and you can edit it if you want. Car has, or something like that. It's probably not the best way of doing it. Get rid of that thing at the end. There you go. Little difference, but it doesn't really matter. So you see there's a toString, and I'm going to add my own method, public void increment age, spelled wrongly, we'll deal with that in a moment. If you put in one opening brace, you get lots of errors. If you hit return, it puts the other opening brace in where it expects it to go. You can't change that. And then I want to use, let's get the spelling right first. I want to use the age attribute of this class. So if I do this and then dot, NetBeans will do code completion. It gives you some suggestions for what might come next. So as far as this class goes, there are 3 attributes and there are lots of methods. The methods in bold are the ones that we've introduced. The methods which aren't in bold are the ones which have been inherited from the object class. I actually want one of these attributes, again, with a little lock to identify that it's private, so I can only access it from within this class. If I double click on that, I get age, and I can add one onto it using ++. Okay, so that's the car class. Now if I go to test, the main class where the main method is, I can start creating things with new car. And if I do that, it will come up with an error because there isn't a default class, it isn't a default constructor rather. If you hold the mouse over it, it says that you need a string, an int and a double. So I'm going to change that to Skoda, and the int is the years, 4 years old, and it's got a 1.6 engine. Okay, so let's, so nothing would happen there, but just create it. But I'm going to also do system dot, if you do dot, you get out, dot, and then choice of all the different things, PR, print line, there you go. This is print line, and what am I going to do? I'm going to print the engine size. So I did C dot, and then let NetBeans give me a list of options. Print dot engine size. If I click on the green arrow, I should get, there's a little bar at the bottom to say that it's running. There, 1.6. Okay, it took 1 second to build and run. And that's about it really. The only other thing which you will find useful is there are lots of shortcuts, and one of the shortcuts is system.out.println. If you do SOUT and then hit tab, it automatically puts in the system.out.println for you, although it puts a little string thing in there which we can get rid of. And I want C dot to string.
It's 11 hours.
It's 11 hours, by the way. Probably heard that. And then if we press return, we see 1.6 and then the output of the string, and you can see all of those shortcuts if you look at the keyboard shortcut card, which you can get from the help menu in NetBeans. Okay. One other thing we should do, if I look at car over here, the little summary view down here gives us all the methods. There's a constructor and what the constructor looks like, the methods and what they return and what they need as parameters, and also at the bottom there we've got the 3 attributes. This is really useful, and you'll find out later on that you can use that quite a lot. Okay, have fun.